about the Nirvana patch. And I think that this is going to help me understand how best to use it, and hopefully help you guys too, how to use it.
So do you want me to share my, I can share my screen?
Okay. Yeah, I think sounds good.
Okay. So tell me if you see it.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, I've had fun. So this is a longer talk than we have time for. So I'm just going to go through skip through some of the highlights, and the video from the talk I did last Friday will be available. I understand it was successfully captured, and it's a matter of getting it out, and both by email and by it'll be on my website and other places too. So
right now you're in slideshow view yet.
Right. Yeah. So let me do this.
Well, this is the Nirvana LifeWave Nirvana patch is definitely something that I put on myself those days when I'm just feeling like when my mood is down. So I use it sort of like PRN. So I'm really interested to understand a little bit more about how it works. I know when my teenager was having an extended period of feeling down, she was using it and felt like it helped. And I've heard other stories of some great benefits for mood. And so now.
And I used it quite a bit on my husband when his cortisol was through the roof. It's known for balancing the hormones. I'll say a little bit more about that specifically. But one thing I didn't realize before I wrote this version of the talk was the relevance of the supplement. And so when I have ordered, since the first time when I've ordered it, I've been ordering the patches without the supplement. And just here recently, my husband's attitude seemed to be more a little bit like the cortisol was up. And so I ordered some more. And then I prepared this talk and learned about the supplement. And I was kicking myself for not ordering the supplement with the patch. I mean, I ordered the patches. And I was really going, I really should call him and see if I can get him to add the supplement to the order. And before I did that, the order came in from LifeWave, and wouldn't you know it, I had ordered the supplement. So that's synchronicity going all the way around here. It's really quite amazing what happens before and after I prepare one of these talks.
Well, and this, when we think about like X39 requires to work well that someone has adequate copper, right? If somebody's copper is low, it won't work as well. So is it like kind of like that? Does it give you something that makes it work well?
It's the same but different. So so first, there's quite a bit actually right here on this slide. The patch, which enhances mood. David Schmidt has said in some of his talks that's operating because it increases endorphins and it increases dopamine. And so, I have some stuff in this talk on both of those topics specifically, but it turns out that endorphins they're both they're like 4 happy drugs, and those are 2 of them.
Right. Yeah.
And
chemicals in the body that boost mood, right? We think of serotonin as another one, but
serotonin's one, and oxytocin. Oxytocin's the one that makes the mother want to breastfeed the baby.
Snuggle.
So that's
the snuggle hormone.
Huh?
Snuggle
for 4
hormone.
Years.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
Okay.
So
what the patch does, the ingredients in the patch, when combined together, it's vanilla. Who thinks of vanilla as a supplement? Vanilla. It's referred to on their literature as a seaweed, but when you look it up, it's called an algae. But it's a little plant that grows in the oceans. And the third ingredient is oil from salt, sea salt. And I don't know how they get the oil out of the salt, but at any rate,
Never heard of that.
when you put the three together, it blocks the enzyme that degrades the endorphins. So the endorphins are going to stay around longer. The endorphins have a very short half-life. And so, even though you get them going, they're gone in a couple hours, or half-life's gone in a couple hours. So they don't stick around. And
you want to take the supplement with the patch.
You want to take the supplement with the patch to keep your endorphins up. Yes. Okay.
And in the morning, then you'd want to take it in the morning, right? The supplement.
Well, I don't know. We were just talking about that because I have these sitting there now. And of course, the instructions just say to take 2 a day. They don't say take one morning, one evening. I think, usually these patches like the Nirvana, where I'm thinking of it. Well, I mean, if you're thinking of it for improving your mood during the day, you might want to take it in the morning. But if you're thinking of it for doing major hormone rebalancing and healing, then night is, seemed logical to me. So I was going to have Leonard start on the night. And the question is, when do you take the supplement? So that's a good question. But at any rate, no help there from above. So let me, so that's a lot of information about it right here, but let me.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, so I talk a little bit about depression and a little bit in general about the brain. So these 4 areas of the brain that are marked here are really where major signaling for mood happen. And the one that we focus on is where the one that produces endorphins is the pituitary gland. So and here's a little thing with your 4 happy chemicals.
Right, the chemicals that make you happy.
Yeah. So let me skip on down to another picture. Okay, so here you saw that little tiny, look at the big brain here. And there's this little tiny spot in here where the pituitary gland hangs off. And this is a blow up of it. And you can see it looks like a couple of testicles. And all of these hormones or hormone precursors come out of it and go to these major organs that in fact produce the hormones that we think of, like the thyroid and the corticosteroids and estrogen, progesterone and testosterone and all of these things. So we have all these hormones that come out of the major organs in the body, but they're getting the message as to how to act from the pituitary gland. And there's a feedback loop. So all of these get their messages, and then depending on who knows what, whether the gland itself thinks you're producing too much or too little or whatever, it sends messages back to the pituitary gland to regulate. So it's a big, complex, integrated system.
Yeah.
And so a
feedback loop.
A big feedback loop. But even though we're focusing on these 2 hormones, the whole system is working together. And so it's quite amazing, really.
I have a question.
Yes.
Decades ago, this chiropractor told me I was a pituitary type, and I never heard of that before.
A pituitary type?
Yeah, yes. I don't know what exactly that
is. There's adrenal types, thyroid types, but I looked at him and I thought, well, that's really peculiar. But then he began describing what a pituitary type was.
Yes.
And he was describing me.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know that. Maybe that's something from chiropractic training. I'm not sure what that means exactly. So
it's amazing. So I was just wondering.
So what's your major feature that you feel it?
I don't get depressed for some reason.
So I think he's probably talking about these happy hormones.
Maybe
because they're the ones that they're the ones that actually get produced in the pituitary gland, as opposed to these signals going out to these other organs and the other hormones being produced in the other organs. The ones that are actually produced in the pituitary are the happy hormones.
Well, he said that it had to do with my body structure, my forehead, the fact that my limbs are so long. And then he was saying I was very sensitive to drugs, which I've been my whole life. Like when they gave me aspirin, I ended up in the hospital.
Wow.
Oh, golly. Well,
so I can't have aspirin, and I can't.
I don't know anything about the rest of
Yeah,
it, but the pituitary part makes sense if that's the way you feel.
So
well, this is
skip
fascinating, Nancy. I think that, and it makes me want to try the Nirvana for a longer period of time with the supplement, because I'll admit that I have been using the patch without the supplement.
Me too. Well,
so-
I haven't been using it at all recently until, as I say, we just picked it up again.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much time you want me to
Well, I
spend
mean, I
with-
think that that is truly what I was wondering, because I have been repeating that it increased endorphins, and how to optimize, understanding that you really do need to preferably take it with a supplement, I think is really important for people. And I've also heard people get really quick results with it. So, I mean, I think that that's nice to know, is that some people will have quick results. Not everybody, because some people take longer to respond to the patches, but it's worth trying if people have challenges with mood, as a supplement to whatever, therapeutics that they're using. And it's very, very safe, right? So yeah, that's one nice thing about it. Vanilla.
They're using Tahitian vanilla, and that is the best vanilla.
The best vanilla.
Yeah, I was trying to read a little bit about that and say, okay, now why do we want that as opposed to what Madagascar, I guess, is the other place that.
Madagascar is probably number 2.
It was quite an adventure, and I would encourage anyone who wants to. So my website is lightpatchscience.com, and I will have both the PowerPoints and the show up there eventually.
Nice. Okay, well, I think that we can open it up for questions if you want to unshare and
so
talk about anything that's come up recently.
Does that mean that there's supplements for all of the patches that would?
This is the only one.
Oh, this is the only one. Okay. And maybe that's the one I don't need.
Right, if your mood is good.
It's kind of funny because I get endorphins from really peculiar things. Like when I learn something, I get really happy.
Yeah, well, and I think that is something that makes life interesting. We can.
Endorphins are produced by laughing.
Oh, really?
I think you're both good on the endorphin scale.
Well, that's why there is a laughing club in Bellingham, and I think that would be really fun. You stand in a circle and you just laugh, because it boosts endorphins. It also boosts your immune system, right? It actually strengthens your immune system to laugh, and so I think the more giggles we can get in, the better. But thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing about that. Yeah.
Yes.
I so appreciate both of you, and here I have both of you to myself.
Well, so if you have any questions, I wanted to show a picture that John sent that was such a great picture that you may have seen. Let me just pull it up here real quick.
Okay.
This is great.
The hardest part for me is going to be all the technical stuff, because.
But you don't have to learn the technical stuff. It's for your entertainment.
This is great. Okay, you guys, let me share my screen now.
I mean, sometimes it's nice to know something's there, even if you don't understand it all.
So this is a before and after, okay? And what we have over here is, this is day 1. Okay.
Okay.
First pick is day 1. Then we have day 3, and look at how the clearing, it's clearing around where that patch is placed, right? That is unusual. And then this last one is day 5, right? And so this person, what had happened was they had a cardiac catheterization through her wrist and was on blood thinner and had this big bruise. And, the doctor said it was going to be, 3 to 4 weeks.
4 weeks. I'm
to get better, right? And the amazing improvement in that over just 5 days.
Oh,
yeah, I did the same
crazy.
thing with Leonard when he had the catheter into his groin area, and his whole area that you didn't really want to show on pictures was was black and blue like that, and it cleared it right up. It really did.
Very, very nice. Well, so if people are trying to recover from like clearing a bruise, post-op, anything you can do to support the body's ability to create new tissue, and stem cells definitely are a way, right? Affordable stem cell therapy. Let's do that, right? You don't have to get anybody else's stem cells. Let's get y'all's stem cells and use them.
Yes.
So,
that makes so much sense.
right. Well, I think that it's always fun to meet with Dr. Flournoy. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for
deepened my understanding of the Nirvana patch, and now I'm going to put it to use more. And Soraya, thank you so much for joining us. And those of you who are watching this on YouTube, thank you for joining us. And we'll be back next week at 11 with more patch stories, interesting stuff, things that come up, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, I'm going to say goodbye to our streaming audience, and we'll see you next week, Monday.